this to us all the time. We're trying to do our...
Are you tired of the same old radio?
Sure am.
Need an outlet to show who you are?
Oh, yeah.
You want to hear great TV reviews and original shows?
Sounds good.
Or just new ways to keep up on the Jags?
Let's go, Jags. Woo, woo, woo.
Join us on Teal Time Radio.
The station that matters. 'Cause you matter.
Welcome to Teal Time Radio. This is your host, Ray, or CT Jags, whichever way you want to call me. Alongside of me is the beautiful Miss Chrissy.
Hello, everybody.
And on today's show, it's called Do the Damn Thing. Everybody knows what this show's about.
Yep.
I should have made it for everybody rating because I don't think I'm in the mood to swear or anything right now, but who knows?
Yeah, but who knows?
But today I want to go a little deeper than what we normally go, which isn't really that deep because we normally go pretty deep on this show.
Yeah, we do. We usually get pretty deep.
Okay, and I want to talk about, trying to, building, a foundation, or trying to build a foundation based on, past relatives, family members, whatever you want to call it.
Exactly.
Sometimes in life throws us curveballs.
Sure does.
Sometimes, it makes us think that, you're never going to have a relationship ever again. You don't know where everybody's lives, are going. You don't know where people are going in general. And you don't know what is really going on. You just know that you're in this world to try to survive. And that's what a lot of people do, try to survive. Period.
Exactly. It's true. And you never know, when you meet somebody, whether it be a family member, a friend, whoever, you never know. You might know them for a year. You may know them for 20 years. You may know them longer. And sometimes you might just lose track of them just like that.
And it's not that we mean to lose track of them.
No, it's we all get into our lives and we kind of get busy with our own thing, and it happens.
Yeah, and sometimes we just go on different paths. It's not a shot at anybody. It's not a, a thing of saying, well, you're not important in my life.
Never, never.
It's just a thing that happens.
It does. Sometimes it just happens, and you say to yourself, oh, my God, I lost track of this person. I haven't seen them in so many years. And then you could be at the grocery store and bump into that person.
And then what people have to understand is when you do, if you do, find, that person or friend or whatever it is, you have to understand that when all this time has passed, it's not going to be a simple transition. And it's not going to be one of them things where, okay, everything is 100% cool, because it's not. There's a lot of emotions attached. There's a lot of feelings. There's a lot of, maybe a vendetta or some sort of hatred or confusion or something of that line.
Yeah, and it also depends on the situation of what happened between the two people that made them stop, the two of you stop talking, It could be something where you two had an argument. It could be something that something just happened, Stuff does just happen sometimes, Sometimes it's like you said, sometimes you just grow apart because you go to college or, and that person doesn't go away to college or they go to college somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? It depends.
And when somebody does find somebody that they haven't, seen in a long time and whatnot, the person needs to understand, or the people need to understand, this is just in general, that the bottom line is this. Unless somebody's devious or, of that sort, and trying to, money-wise, try to snaggle their way into something, which I never was grown up that way. I just, I never had a silver spoon or anything, and just like this radio show, we're building. It takes time.
Exactly.
It takes time for the fan base, and we appreciate all our supporters.
Exactly. Well, you know what? I mean, I didn't come from a rich family. I came from a hard-working family. But, I had a stepfather who did very well for himself and took very good care of us. But I never got handed a silver spoon. I had to work for what I want, even though he had the money.
And sometimes relationships aren't the best at that present time.
That's true.
But things can change at any time.
Of course.
And the whole point I'm trying to make is that, if you find that person or, people or whatever it may be, friends, whatever, you have to understand that Rome wasn't built in a day. It takes time. It takes time to build trust. It takes time to build understanding and whatnot.
Exactly.
And it's not, going to be an overnight process, just like a radio show isn't an overnight process.
Nothing's an overnight process. It just takes time and patience and a lot of effort and, putting in your love and your care for the person. Even if it's your friend, you still love your friends because, you know what, if you don't love them, then you don't obviously care about them. When you love somebody, you care about them, whether it be your friend or your family.
Exactly. And the whole thing about it is this. Some people believe that you're just trying to replace something. And that's not necessarily the case.
No, not
it's
at all.
It's more of you're trying to build something and just add to the whole foundation.
Exactly. Sometimes when people grow up and they have families of their own, and they run into a family member or a friend or somebody, they want to add them into the family, bring them into their family, and include them. You know what I'm saying?
Just to feel a part of something
so
and not
they're a part of
feel so distant with everything.
Right.
And all the things that happen over the weekend, the bad stuff, I'm just not going to talk about it. It's just
no.
I'm not going to. I'm not going to go there. I had a very crazy weekend.
Yeah.
Very crazy.
I will leave it at that.
Very emotional and everything. But the good news of it is this. I have a better understanding of things now.
Mm-hmm.
I have a better understanding of the past now. I have a better, understanding of where the future may go. Which it may not go the direction I want. It may go in a total different, and that's okay.
Yeah, or the direction may veer off into a crazy path and then get right back to being where you thought it was going to be,
Exactly.
You never know what life's going to bring you.
And the whole thing about it is some people would say, to take 2 steps back to eventually go forward, was something a loser would do.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not my opinion. My opinion is this. My opinion is if you really want to be involved, you need to take time. It needs to be effort. It can't be just hi, how you doing?
And that's it. And you expect the person to automatically
I'll see you 25 years
Yep.
from now. Who knows what's going to happen in 25 days, let alone years.
Exactly. It's like, okay, my father's whole side of the family, I love them all to death. I haven't seen any of them in a long time. But, if I seen them somewhere, I'd still be like, hey, auntie or uncle so-and-so. But I don't have a very close relationship with them because it's been so many years.
And there's many people on my side of, the family, on, both ends and whatnot, I just don't talk to. I haven't seen and everything. It doesn't mean that, you're less important. It just means that my life doesn't allow it. It doesn't,
Exactly.
Just don't have the time. And, where I can have the time, I try to put the time.
But, you don't have it that much because you work a lot.
I do work. I work like a dog. And then I come home and do this.
Exactly. This is our relaxing time. This is what we enjoy doing.
This is what I plan on doing, what we plan on doing
for the rest of our lives.
For a long time and whatnot. Of course, we got to make it compelling. It's got to be interesting. Got to have some comedy flair to it.
But anyways, going back to family, like I said, growing up, I was always close to my father's side of the family. Love every aunt and uncle I have, all my cousins. But, like I said, I just haven't had a lot of time allowed to go see them. And it just haven't gotten the chance to get there to see them. But I will. One of these days I will just go to one of my aunts or uncles' houses or one of my family members' houses and just visit them.
Exactly.
And try to build a relationship with them again. because they are still my aunt and uncles.
And this ties into the second thing that I wanted to say, as I already spent 10 minutes on the other thing.
That's okay.
I wanted to say this. I wanted to say that in life, we all make mistakes. You know, there's no sympathy I want. There's no empathy I want, or we want, or, you know, there's no denying the fact of things that happened in the past. It is what it is, and it did happen.
Yep.
You know, there's resentments along the way. There's vendettas along the way.
I'm sure.
You know, when I was younger, you know, when early adult, late teens, you know, I burned some bridges. I'm not proud of it. I had a bad attitude. I'm not proud of it.
No.
Some people are proud to, you know, have a bad attitude and proud to, you know, be the, you know, queen bee or the top ass or whatever. Yep, there I went swearing again.
Yeah, well, I just said bitch, so I mean, I said it again. But anyways, I mean, some women will walk around and I know it, and I'm proud of it. That's not the way to be. I mean, you know what? Then you know what? You end up being miserable, and you end up spending your whole life miserable, and then guess what? You don't get to enjoy life.
If that's what works for them, that's what works for them.
No, but I'm just saying, I'm realizing this as I got older, because like when I was a kid, I had a bad attitude myself. I wasn't exactly no princess. But, you know, as I got older, I learned that, you know, when I'm miserable, I'm just making my life miserable.
Yeah, exactly. Misery loves company.
Yeah, and I'm not enjoying life.
And if you choose to sit that way, then that's the choice you make.
Yep.
Or anybody in general.
But you know what, though? And I'll just use me for an example of my own self. But I noticed that, you know what, if you're miserable, you miss out on a lot of things because you're not paying attention because you're so busy being miserable.
You sure do. You miss out on a lot of things. You miss out on a lot of opportunities. You don't get to go to things that you normally would have because you're afraid of making friends or you're afraid of what people think or you're afraid of this and afraid of that. But really...
Well, usually when you're miserable, you don't care because you don't want to make friends with people because you got a bad attitude.
But in a form, you're scared of resentment at the same time.
True, very true.
Because everybody that says, well, they don't care what other people think, full of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, full of shit.
I think as I got older, I learned to mature more, and I, don't do that anymore.
Because I look at it like this: people say they don't care, but then they write it on Facebook or MySpace or whatever.
Yep.
If you didn't care, you wouldn't write it. Period.
Yeah. Oh, this happened, and this happened, and. Oh, he did this to me and she did that to me.
If you don't want a response, you wouldn't write it.
Exactly.
You wouldn't think it.
You want empathy from somebody.
Yeah. If there's no effect, there's no cause.
Yep.
And you're looking for effect, from your cause. I mean, that's just the reality of it.
Mhm.
But, everything that I've done and I went through in my life, I don't regret.
Well, like I told you earlier, when you and I were discussing it earlier, I told you that everything you go through makes you the person you are today. That's what shapes you into the person you become as you get older.
Yeah, I used to have a saying. There's the old saying that says, "What doesn't kill you only makes you stronger."
Yeah, that's true.
I also believe what doesn't kill you only makes you wiser.
Very true. They're both very true, good statements.
Because the strongest people I've ever known were the most intelligent people.
And the people that went through the most stuff.
Not the baddest fighters on the block.
No, just the people that have gone through the most stuff in their life.
You ever heard the song, "You Don't Know What It's Like"? Every instance that he speaks on that, I've seen.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I've witnessed.
Exactly.
I've witnessed dudes that were 7 foot tall, 400 pounds, cry like they're little babies.
Yeah.
And I've seen dudes that were like 4'9" and 90 pounds.
Mhm.
Stand tall.
Exactly.
I've seen the poor be happy and the rich be miserable.
Yep.
But yet you hear on mainly every rap song, and that's not taking anything against rap.
Oh,
but,
no.
I mean, I'm just being, not every rap song, but a lot, the majority of it.
Yeah.
You hear how, it's, how you want to be a baller, how you want to be rich. And then when you get rich, what happens? You only get more problems.
Yep.
I've seen it. I've seen it time and time again. I've seen people get money and then lose their minds.
Yep, exactly.
It's just like no disrespect to anybody that goes to the military. None whatsoever. But I've seen people go in the military, as I was explaining to my buddy Dom that day when we had that special. Go to the military, come out, they're never the same.
No, I mean, I know a guy who I went to school with whose father was in the military, and he was exposed to Agent Orange. And when he came out, he was a totally different person. He wasn't that same person that went in. It had an effect on him.
Yeah.
And then not only that, but what he saw, I'm sure. I don't know what he saw because the man passed away now, but from what his son told me, you know, a lot of things had changed.
So my message is, you know, people in general need to start, you know, stop worrying about your regrets. Stop worrying about your remorse. I mean, if you go out and you kill a bunch of people, that's different.
Yeah.
Then you should, you know, never do that again.
Yeah.
If you're not caught, and if you did get caught, then you need to, you know, realize what you're doing and tell other people, hey, this ain't cool.
Exactly. But you also need to take time that, you know, realize that, hey, you know what, if you fight with your mother, you fight with your sister, your brother, whoever, you need to take the time and you need to talk things out with the person and try to, you know, work things out because you only get one mother, one father, you know, and you need to love them and take care of them, you know, for what it's worth. You know, you only get one.
Well, you can have others that are around.
Yeah, but I'm talking biological parents. Your parents' parents. Like a lot of people will get in fights with their mother and never speak to them for 20, 30 years, or their father for 20, 30 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, but what is the real meaning of biological? In my eyes, okay?
It's the person that I believe that raised you.
That's
took care of you.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't necessarily mean the one that was there during birth.
No.
It's the one that is there during your difficult times when you need to learn something, when you want to, you know, enjoy life and things like it's that person.
Yes, it's the person that helps you learn things that you need to learn when you're a young man or a young woman, that teaches you about being a young man or a young woman and teaches you the facts of life and how to respect, for a guy, how to respect women, and for a woman, how to respect her man and to care for her man the right way. You know what I'm saying? They teach you all the right things in life, in other words.
Yeah, exactly. Because anybody can be a father. Okay? Anybody can be a father figure. Anybody. But it takes a true man to be a dad.
That's right.
And it takes a true woman to be a mom.
That's right.
You know? And there's things that kids need to know that people won't, you know, teach.
Exactly. Like I said, I raised Nick, you know, many years by myself until we met, and I'm very proud of the fact I did do a good job. But you know what? I'm glad I have you here, hon, because he can teach my Nick the things that I can't teach him.
You know, I was telling him the other day, and I'm like, I figured, yeah, why not throw it on airwaves? Why not? You know, I was telling him the other day, you know, the thing that nobody tells you. When you're in school and, you know, you get upset, the natural reaction, especially out here, is to fight. But 1 leads to 2, 2 leads to 4, 4 leads to 8, and then you get in trouble with the law. What people don't understand, there are rare cases where this doesn't happen. There are rare cases, okay? But for the most part, if you have a felony on your record, just one,
you cannot get a good job.
You can't get I'm not going to say you can't get a good job.
Well, I mean a job making, like, high-paying money.
I'm just saying.
Like government and...
Well, there's football players, and they make a lot of money, but not everybody's going to be a football player.
Government, like, working in the government itself. Like, if you want to be an FBI agent, you want to be a police officer, you want to be a firefighter, you want some good jobs. Not only that, no offense to people that do have them, but a lot of the times, the people that you go to for jobs, they'll look down on you because of it.
That's what I'm trying to say. Most government jobs, like you stated, most city jobs,
exactly,
most state jobs,
Exactly.
One major crime and you're done in their eyes. However, if you have the balls or, the heart, the confidence, which everybody should have, that knows that they made a mistake, like I said before, don't regret your mistakes in life. Mistakes happen.
Yep.
Okay? My mistake was, I got in trouble with the law. I got out of it in a way, when I stood up for myself and said, hey, I'm not involved in this.
Yeah.
I've been framed by other people, and this ain't cool. And I had to fight tooth and nail. It was not an easy battle.
No.
I must have lost thousands of dollars from work. Kept on going to court.
Yeah.
Court doesn't refund you the money. They don't care.
No, they don't care.
They just don't. Okay?
You're another felon to them, or another person that gets in trouble. That's how they look at it.
I lost important family members that didn't understand the situation at that time.
Right.
Okay? That hopefully one day I hope I can build something with, if given the opportunity to. If not, well, hey, it is what it is. But the whole thing behind it is, if you're in trouble, you've got to fight. You've got to stand up for yourself, and you've got to try. Because, as I was stating before, which I didn't get to finish, the real loser is the one that doesn't try.
Exactly. I had a friend who had, unfortunately, due to bad circumstances, had lost their place to live and had lost their child. In the meantime, they had to fight a tough battle. And, it was a tough battle for the person. But, they got the child back, thankfully. But, that's unfair, because why should somebody lose their child due to some circumstances that they can't sometimes control?
Exactly. And the law's not always fair, and it's not right. It is what it is.
Yep.
But the whole point is, if you did make a mistake or several mistakes, that doesn't mean it's the end of the world.
No.
But for those who didn't, don't necessarily think because you didn't make a mistake that you're better than other people, too, because we're really all on the same wavelength. The courts media is not going to tell you that. You turn on the TV, they're not going to tell you that. You turn on this, they're not going to tell you. They're all going to be like, okay, well, then you're just a number to the system.
Well, you know what? There's people that sometimes try to act like they didn't make any mistakes in life, when actually they did. They just didn't make big mistakes, like getting in trouble with the law. They've done little things throughout their life, because everybody's done something in their life that's
and some people
not acceptable.
And some people did some horrible things, but they just didn't get caught for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that doesn't mean when they don't, when they die, they won't have to pay for it. But I'm not getting involved in that.
No,
I'm not getting into a discussion like that. Everybody knows where I stand. I'm a very spiritual person, but I'm not a religious person.
Exactly.
There's a total difference.
Well, you know what? Like I look at it is, I don't have any kind of a record, but I still don't look down on somebody because they do have a record. I understand that people make mistakes, and that's just the way it is. And there are people, unfortunately, that do put down people who have made mistakes. And I think that's very unfair, especially when the people have done their time and paid for what they did.
But it is what it is. And
I know.
But the point is, to regret life is just pointless.
It is.
To hold all that weight inside and the tattooed scars inside that, make you who you are, to say, well, because I did this or I did that, I'm a bad person. That's bullshit. That's absolutely bullshit. Because we all make mistakes. We all, screw up from time to time. It is what it is. The thing about it is you learn. And like I said before, the biggest loser is the one that don't try. Because the one that doesn't try will always find a way, to try to hurt the people that are trying to follow their dreams and destroy their lives. Because they're afraid to try themselves and go after their dreams, so they got nothing better to do than to rank on somebody else.
Exactly. Who are you to rank on anybody, for the people that do rank on people, when you're no better? I mean, my mother always told us growing up, people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones.
And you said it a different way the other day. That's why I'm laughing.
I got that one off Roseanne. But my mother always told me that. I mean, and I always knew that, you don't do that. She said to me, until you can prove to the day that you're perfect, that's the day you can put somebody else down.
And unless you physically harm somebody or something, to the point of no regrets, which if somebody does that to somebody, I don't blame them to have a vendetta. I don't blame them to not want to talk to somebody. I know in the Bible it says easy, to turn the other cheek. But if I turn the other cheek, I'm only going to get slapped in the face again. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, if you want a rug, there's plenty of people that will pull out, make you a rug. In other words, use you for your car, use you for your money, use you for this, use you for that. And it's fucked up. No.
You see it out there. You see it going on out in the world, I'm saying.
It's everyday life.
Yep.
It's everyday life, and it's absolutely crazy. So for any of the audience, people that we have that, download our show or, listen to our show or whatever, the message I'm trying to display is don't worry about your past. Your past is done. Today is a brand new fucking day. Tomorrow is a brand new fucking day. Get over it.
Yep, start over. Start fresh every day like it's a new day. Forget what happened yesterday.
Of course, the credit companies won't forget, and the bill collectors won't forget.
Oh, no, you got to pay them, but...
And shit like that. And jobs won't forget, but you got to fight.
Exactly. Fight for what you want, or you'll never get it. If you sit there and you say, oh, well, I'm just gonna worry about it and worry about it and worry about it, you're gonna cause yourself either have a stroke or a heart attack, or you're gonna make yourself go in a loony bin.
Yeah, it's just... You
gotta let things go and just be like, okay, well...
Certain things, not everything.
No, I'm talking about, making mistakes, not forgetting to pay a bill. I'm talking about just things in life in general that people do, when you're a kid, a teenager, you know what I'm saying? Little mistakes.
And people do change. I've seen it. I've seen people that were nice turn into total assholes.
I have.
And I've seen people who were total assholes, a.k.a. me, do a total 360 and actually grow up and be a decent human being, a decent dad, and then,
something that your family could be proud of.
I'm not saying I don't still make mistakes. Everybody does.
No, but you're not that mean, unforgiving person that you used to be.
No, I'm not.
You're a nice guy. You've calmed down,
I'm nothing like I used to be. That don't mean rub me the wrong way and...
Oh, no.
I'll still scrap if I have to. But I'm not...
You try not to unless you really have
to. I'm not that way. I mean, like I said before, things are just pointless now. As you get older, you get wiser, and you learn, things are just pointless. Things 90 seconds. As a child, to be the class clown or whatever is wonderful at that time because everybody laughs. Little do they know they're laughing at you,
and
not with you.
Yep. But then when you do that as an adult, they look at you like you're cuckoo pots, and that's what they start to say about you.
Or the people you knew in school no longer give a shit about you. I mean, that's just the reality of it. I went from jobs, I was best friends with people. Left the job, 60 seconds. Didn't want to bother with me anymore, and I did nothing wrong.
It happens.
But that's their loss.
Yep.
That's not mine. If they choose to be outside of my world, then that's the choice they make.
Yep.
That's the choice I have to live with, and I shouldn't worry about, because if I worry about every little thing, I'm playing a fucking rocking chair. If no one's ever heard this expression before, when you play a rocking chair, you're constantly moving. When you go back and just like a rocking chair, you're constantly moving, but it doesn't get you anywhere.
No, it doesn't.
Now, we're going to say our goodbyes early as we normally do. Bye.
See you later, everybody. Have a good night.
All right, now we're going to stay on as long as they allow us to stay on here. For our Lipson audience, I'm sure
10 seconds.
Our blog talk audience is gone. But You know, the other thing I wanted to say, if they allow us to say it, if they don't, it's understandable, is that we are a legitimate show. We are not spam. We are not a virus.
No, we're not. Not at all.
We're not any kind of nasty thing. I mean, other than our mouths.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
But I mean, we're not out there to try to, you know, score a buck from you and be like, oh, you have to give us money, you have to do this or that. No, if you wanna donate, that's fine. If you don't, we don't care. We still want you to just enjoy the show, like we tell you, you know, and
we try to treat everybody who comes on the show or has something to say about with respect.
And equally.
You may hate us, you may love us. Matters none in the fact of, you know, we're doing what we got to do to get where we need to be.
Exactly.
We're not stepping on anybody's toes or saying, well, we're going to be the number one radio, you know, radio talk show or radio station or podcast or whatever you want to call it. I hate the name podcast because it just sounds stupid, in my opinion.
Yeah. You think of a pod or a pea.
It's just like, okay, you've got the radio station and then you've got the podcast, and the podcast isn't as good as the radio station. But I've heard our radio station, I've heard many podcasters, and, you know, they sound better than the actual freaking DJs that are on there. Sorry, they do. Nothing against DJs. There's some phenomenal DJs out there. But everybody should, you know, there should be a place for everybody. You know, in my personal opinion, you know, there should be a place. And when we're saying, you know, we strive to be number one, we do. On our own level, we want to feel the sense of accomplishment, which one day we'll be able to buy a building, and one day we'll be able to, you know, do something inside the building, such as a full-blown 24-hour radio thing, whether it's on through the car, through the internet radio, like an XFM, or, XFM and Cyrus are the same, like a Pandora, or, you know, even if it's like this, but 24/7. It doesn't matter to us.
Exactly.
We just want a sense of accomplishment and a way to pay the bills.
Not only that, but just because we strive to be number one doesn't mean we're going to say, oh, well, we're better than this podcast over here or better than that radio station over there, because we're not.
We may joke around.
We joke around about it, but we want to be number one because we want to say, oh, well, we accomplished this. We did this. You know, we're proud of this.
And we didn't need anybody's help.
No, and we didn't have to beg anybody.
We appreciate the help. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
If a sponsor wants to come through and say, hey, well, you know, do something, for our show, no problem.
Yep.
No problem. You know, I love working with people. I loved, talking with Minor Threads Clothing, which did the Jaguars thing.
Yep, it did.
You know, well, it does the Jaguars.
It does, sorry, it did. It does.
You know, our old, person that was redoing our website.
Yep.
You know, Scott Gomber, hell of a person.
Right, just because we're not
him
doing it, he's still a great guy, and we still consider him a friend and everything else, you know.
And next level, his, search engine optimizing / website, building. Just because it didn't work out with us doesn't mean it won't work out for somebody else. And his ideas are great. They just weren't great for what we intended to do.
Exactly.
So, anytime he wants to come on and do it, no problem. No problem whatsoever.
We'd love to have him. We have a lot of respect for you, We're not going to, disrespect you in any way, shape, or form.
I absolutely love the Bold City Brigade. I love what they're doing in Jacksonville. I really hope I can get that interview with that person. We do have band interviews coming up. However, we're a little behind on things because of all the things that have happened. It's not an excuse. It's just reality. It's not like we're not going to do them. We're going to do them. Will we push them back? We may and we may not. We may just say, well, hey, we don't have exposure now, but in the future, we're going to have more.
Exactly.
I mean, we do have plenty of listeners and everything, but we want more. And it's not that we're selfish. We just feel that our message needs to go out to a bigger outlet at some point.
I agree.
So that's the whole gist of things. You know, we love when people come in. We love our, guest that comes in, Poppy Red Hunter. We think he does a heck of a job. We wish he could have been on the show tonight, but unfortunately he couldn't. And we love doing Jags coverage, but the fact of the matter is I just don't have time right now.
No, he really just hasn't had time at all. I mean, we do love our Jags, and we are big Jags fans in this house.
So, I mean...
Like I said, we named our bunny rabbit Jackson after Jackson DeVille,
Sometimes in life you just don't have time.
No.
I mean, when I have more time, within the next few weeks, I'm going to get something out on the Jags. Or maybe an extended thing on it. Maybe I'll do a couple things on the Jags. But really, I don't know what's going on right now. I'm in such out of the loop right this weekend, it's not even funny. A lot of things have happened. A lot of, it's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. And, we're just glad that people stick by us and everything, and we wanted to have business cards out, but it just didn't happen that way. And Lisa, if you're listening, we're sorry. We're going to get to it in the future as soon as we can. As soon as our finances pick up to be able to.
Exactly.
If anyone wants to donate, you can go on our PayPal box. I don't even know if that's working right now. It will be working probably in the next few days, get it back up and running.
Exactly.
We've changed some things around and whatnot. But, other than that, you want to talk about the weather or something?
No. I don't want to hear about the weather.
I know, but you were talking about it the other day, and I just found it hilarious.
I have no idea why.
This is the point of the show that while we have a little time left, we're probably going to come up with something funny, because we always do. And people are going to be like, all right, well, yeah, this is a heartfelt radio. But now you're just going to kill it with something funny.
Something silly.
Something silly. But, hey, it wouldn't be us if we didn't do it.
That's right.
In the future, I'm even thinking about, I don't know yet. I was thinking about maybe changing, because it's not doing the, Jags fans, enough justice, maybe changing the name.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I kind of like Teal Time Radio.
I love Teal Time Radio.
It kind of, rings a bell and whatnot.
That's us.
I know, but we've been doing everything else but the Jags lately.
That's because we really just haven't had time to touch on the Jags. Because you haven't really had time to really look up anything and find out anything that you need to know as far as facts and stuff for us to be able to talk about it.
Exactly.
Because you work so much and,
Exactly, and I think for our son's sake and some other fans, we may do a thing on PlayStation sometime. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a huge PlayStation. I'm not, but the PS4 does look intriguing. There are advantages I like of it that I don't like with the Xbox One.
Well, and I talked to somebody who was an avid PlayStation fan, and I see nothing wrong with it. I won't downgrade the PlayStation fans. We're Xbox fans, but the person I spoke to is an avid PlayStation fan.
Well, my major reason is this, okay? My major reason is this. And if you don't get that, I'm going to say it again. My major reason is this. Anyway. Reason I'm an Xbox fan and not a PlayStation fan. Had 9 PS2s. Granted, I did not have a PS3. We do have a PS3, but I don't have a PS3 per se. Okay? Even on the PlayStation 3, I don't like the dashboard. I just don't. On the PS4, with the new dashboard, I like it. I really do. But with all my PS2s, all had disk readers. Sony refused to fix any of them. Okay, now I understand you don't want to fix one, but I bought them from 9 different places. 9 different, same thing. system's supposed to run forever and be constant and have the same issue, clean it out, no good. Try this, try that, no good. Nothing but disk read errors. Drove me nuts. Had one ring prior to knowing you. I had one red ring of death. Microsoft fixed it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Everybody can bash the Xbox all they want. But when it came to my problem, Xbox fixed it. Sony did nothing. But cost me over $3,000.
We had a problem with our Xbox when we were together and they fixed it, remember?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Xbox will fix it. Sony won't. I mean, that's just...
Because...
I mean, is that a selfish reason? Yeah, I admit, partially, it is a selfish reason.
Yeah, but that's selfish on Sony's part because it's like, they want you to buy their system, yet you're not going to take care of the customer. That doesn't do any good.
Yeah, why
couldn't... The customer calls you up and says, I have this problem with my PlayStation. All right, well, at least let us look at it and see if it's something with our machine or something you did.
No.
If it's something the customer did, then, well, it's not covered, then it's not covered. But if it's something that just happened due to something in the factory, then what are you going to do?
First one, I didn't mind replacing.
Yeah.
Second one, I was a little angry about it, but I'm like, all right, I'll replace it again. The third one, it was like, okay, I'm not going to Xbox, I'm not going to Nintendo, I'm just not doing it. Even though I originally started on Nintendo, had the Sega Genesis, had the Atari 64, had all the systems, my stepfather at the time had the ColecoVision, I mean,
Yeah.
This was way back when.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, but the whole thing about it is, okay, when is enough enough? And I'm just keep on buying systems, and they weren't cheap. I mean, I didn't mind spending the money, but at some point it's like, okay, all I'm doing is wasting money down the drain. I literally had to wait for the freaking new Xbox to come out to buy a system. I sat there for 6 months and did not have a system because I was tired of buying this and I didn't want to play the other one.
Exactly.
Because I didn't know if it was going to cause the same issues. So, I mean, when you have the same issue and there's no way to fix it, it's just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And coming from a computer background, you would figure I would know, how to fix it. And I tried everything I could, and it just kept on doing the same thing. It was system defects. It was after you played it a long time, it just burned out, I guess. I don't know. But they weren't willing to do anything. And because they weren't willing to do anything, I just had no interest anymore.
That happens.
So, I mean, now at least with the people that I guess, had things happen, they given free games and whatnot. I wish I could have got free games wouldn't have helped my situation because I couldn't get on. I couldn't play.
That's true.
Couldn't play, so it didn't matter.
No, it didn't.
But that's about it. I think. Maybe there's nothing funny to talk about today.
No, I don't think so.
Maybe it's just a serious kind of day.
Maybe.
You sure you don't want to talk about the weather?
No, I don't want to talk about the weather.
Okay, I will say that over the course of the week after work one night, I did, I was able to watch, one movie and, was able to watch another one the week before. I forgot exactly when we watched them. But 2 great movies out, Fast and the Furious 6.
Very good movie.
And a very crazy movie, which most people won't understand it, but I'm not going to get into the technicalities of it.
Well, you know what? When it came to Fast and the Furious 6, I didn't think I was going to first like it, but I actually ended up liking it. It ended up being a really good movie.
Well, I was talking about the other one.
Oh, yeah.
Now you can see
Now
me.
You Can See Me or something. That movie was funny.
You know, it's funny on one end. It's got well, I guess you didn't want to hear it.
Okay.